Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to take an animation from the Metahuman Animator with face and neck rotation that you may already have in your library and put that onto a body motion and be able to blend. So here is the body motion. But if you notice, I have layered the face and head rotation on this body motion. So you can capture body motion separately and then do face rotations with your face capture and blend those two together. So I'm going to show you how an animation blueprint can combine those so you can have the combination of both in your toolset. Let's build it from scratch, putting these animations onto Era here. But before we do, I want to show something very important. Every time you have a face animation, and when you get this now in Metahuman Animator, you might see the face animation included in the body, and these are all your expressions that run through the body and animate the face. So there is a channel called head control switch here, and you want to edit these curves, and there'll be a bunch here. They're probably key to 1. You want to make sure that it's at 0, 0, because if it's at 1, you'll see here, not good. And that basically the reason of that is because it forces the body post process and the face post process to go through a control rig and do a different path here. What we want is it to avoid this and just play back the animation on the body. So that's a key thing to do first. Otherwise, you're going to have some problems. Okay, so that being said, now we've got Era here. Let's add her into the sequencer, and she's going to get a bunch of extra stuff we don't need. And in fact, we don't even need the face because the face is in the body, and this is important to know here. So let's go back to selection mode. And what we're going to do is we are going to create a anim class, and we are going to choose this merge that I made, and we'll go into that. And we're going to create animation, add it. Right now, let's do the annoyed head shake so you can see how this works here, right? So you might notice there's actually no annoyed head shake in here. And that's because by default, I've already set variables to remove the body rotation for the neck. So let's bring this in here and we can look at this. This is the blueprint. It has some variables. There's 4. We have adding facial expression. We have blending the face rotation to the body. We have remove the body pre-rotation, and we have remove the face pre-rotation. So right now, by default, I've blended everything on the face, which is nothing to the body. So if we get rid of this, now you'll see here, this is our no. She says no. Ignore this guy. And so we could remove this pre-rotation of the face. Now there's no rotation on the head at all. So that's actually quite nice just to be able to do that. Now we can also add the animation for the face. Here it's well, 4, that's what we showed. But the way this works is I have to add a slot name here. So in the properties for playback, right now everything defaults to default slot, and I'm going to call this face. So, and this, if you are familiar with split body animation in video games, you will have seen these before. But if you're not, I need to show you something that you want to know. So now here you see this as I slide, the facial animation is coming across because I haven't blended it. If I blend the rotation here now, here's the face animation that you saw, right? And then here is the body. And depending on whether or not I had animation in the head, I could blend that in or out, right? So I could say here I only want the head rotation, say the shake head, but I could just keep the mouth facial animation. Or if I bring this back to 1, I'm blending the head and the face, which is what you get from the Metahuman Animator, but it goes on to the body. And this body is pretty unexciting. We could certainly change this to the hip hop dance, and that's far superior. We could sync it up to Bruce. They're not synced. Oh, here we go. So we line these up, and now they're linked up. So next we will go over the Anim blueprint that makes all this possible. So I do wish this was easier, but it's not horrible, and I've made it a little extra complicated for flexibility. But let me go through this. First and foremost is you must create a slot called face. Now, no, it doesn't have to be called face, but it has to be called the same thing that you are going to go into sequencer and you're going to put here. So I use face. It could be anything but be consistent. So face is nice. And normally in Animation Blueprint, you can create a new slot. You can get information from your sequencer, and it will just say default slot, right? This is what you see here. That everything you get from sequencer, it brings in. But here, because I have another option, I can choose the face, which is what's happening right here. I'm bringing the face in, and because I use it in 2 places, I have to cache it. So that's why you see it here, then you see it again. You know, it's just I can't branch out twice, right? So what's happening here? So first, I'm bringing the body motion. This is a dance, and what I'm doing is I'm blending bones by channel. And these bones that I'm blending, it's just the neck, 1, 2, and the head, right? But I'm only blending the rotation. I have scale, but you don't need to do that. I'm not blending the translation, so it doesn't pop, right? So, and I'm blending it in. The A is the body animation, and the B is nothing. And I do the same thing here with the face. So I bring the face, head, and rotation, and I blend it with nothing. So, and then those combination gets blended together. I could just take the body and the face and together blend them, but I wanted the ability to dial in, animate in and out. So say you wanted, you had a body, you wanted to dial out the body in the face. Maybe you still wanted the body completely, and you just wanted face animation, the facial animation, and not the head. So I wanted to give extra complexity for controls. But basically, this removes, because this is blending with nothing, it removes the head from the body. This removes the neck and head from the face capture, and then this brings them together, right? So, and when you do this, it just blends these channels. And as you saw in the animation before, there's a bunch of face curves on the face animation. Well, they for some reason get stripped here when you just blend those. So if you did this, it would work, but you would get no facial animation. So if you do a layered blend, you can't do that with the rotations of the body, because it will include the head translations as well as rotations. So that's why these blend by channel. You can say don't do the translation, because in case you have head motion in there, you don't want to include that, right? But this will actually include the face curves. So what I have to do here is I need to just do another blend that doesn't blend anything in the body at all. It just blends. It just allows the face curves to be added back onto that blend. And the way I do that is, instead of a filter, I'm using a blend mask. And the way the blend mask works is I create a custom blend mask where everything is 0. And let me show you here what that looks like. I'm going to find the skeleton here. If you bring the skeleton up, I think this is kind of hidden as well here. You can create a blend mask. I have one called Curve Only, but you add a blend mask, and this is actually pretty cool if you wanted to blend proportions. So if I wanted to say, okay, I want a blend mask where it's 50% of the neck, 20% of the head, you could, instead of having all or nothing, you could adjust those here. But in this case, I just want just the curve. So everything's 0. That's all it is, right? So I choose curve only here, 0, and that all that does is and this is my variable to include the face or not, right? If I have that to 0, then this is nothing, right? If I do it more than 0, it just puts the face on there. And you can see that where if I'm dancing around and this is 1, if I turn this to 0, that just stops her face from animating completely, right? And 1 brings, now this doesn't do, like 0.1 doesn't do anything. It's either on or off. But that is the main logic for taking the head from the body, taking the head from the face, removing, I call it pre-rotation here. This is a pre-body, remove pre-body rotation, remove pre-face rotation, because it's happening here before I blend the two, because it can get confusing to know what order things are happening. And then at the very end, I put the face back. So a lot of people are using Metahuman Animator now, and a lot of people, because it's awesome, a lot of people want to do recordings, and they want to deliver lines with head animation that links with the performance, and they just want to be able to layer on top of the body, because when they do the body capture, either they're assembling it from a library, or they don't know what the lines are going to be. Often people will do it all together, but you don't always have that choice. So this allows you to separate the two and to leverage the power of the Metahuman Animator and all of the head rotation tools to get the most flexibility. So I hope this helps.